You might be wondering how the Constitution actually ensures the educational and economic welfare of marginalized groups, and where Article 46 fits into UPSC syllabus confusion. So let me clear that up right away. By the end of this video, you will be completely clear about why special provisions exist, how they work, and which parts matter most for your UPSC preparation. Start with the big picture. Article 46 sits in the directive principles and tells the state to give special attention to the educational and economic welfare of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, and to protect them from social injustice and discrimination. Think of Article 46 as a guiding lighthouse, non-justiciable direction that steers policy, while other constitutional articles turn those directions into concrete actions. These concrete actions are grouped in Part 16 of the Constitution, covering Articles 330 to 342A, which together form a toolkit of special provisions for SCs, STs, backward classes, and historically vulnerable groups. The toolkit includes reservation in legislatures, special representation, reservations in services and educational grants, national commissions, and commissions to investigate backward classes. Visualize two simple tools: a safety net that protects groups from injustice, and a ladder that helps them climb economically and educationally. Some provisions are permanent fixtures in the Constitution, and some are temporary, meant to be reviewed every decade or so, which is why you see periodic amendments and extensions. For example, reservation in legislatures began as a 10-year measure after independence, but kept getting extended, and recent amendments have pushed that timeline forward again. You should also remember a practical point. The Constitution does not name specific castes or tribes directly. The President issues notifications, often after consulting state governors, to specify SCs and STs for each region. The same goes for socially and educationally backward classes, where changes over recent amendments have shifted how the central list and state lists are prepared and approved. Key commissions matter a lot. National commissions for SCs, STs, and backward classes investigate safeguards and report to Parliament, giving policy teeth to directive principles. Historically, commissions like the Kaka-Kalelkar Commission in the 1950s and the Mandal Commission in 1979 played crucial roles in shaping reservations and the debate around social justice. The Mandal Commission's recommendations eventually led to a 27% reservation for OBCs in government jobs, a landmark change with lasting policy implications. Special provisions for Anglo-Indians used to include nominated seats in legislatures and educational grants, but that special nomination ended in 2020 under recent amendments. Now, a quick visual summary of the main constitutional articles you must remember for exams. Articles 330, 331, 332, 333 deal with reservation and representation. Article 335 covers claims to services and posts. Article 338 and 338A set up national commissions for SCs and STs. Article 338B for backward classes. Article 340 authorizes a commission to inquire into backward classes, and Articles 341 and 342 define scheduled castes and tribes. Keep these article numbers in mind because UPSC often frames questions linking directive principles to specific enforcement mechanisms and institutional bodies. Practically, reservations appear in three main places: legislatures, public employment, and educational institutions, with courts and commissions balancing claims against administrative efficiency. Also note constitutional amendments that changed the landscape. Some extended reservation timelines, while others clarified who decides central and state lists for backward classes. For a clear mental model, remember, directive principles set the goal, the President and Parliament specify the classes and lists. Commissions monitor implementation and reports. And courts resolve conflicts. Why should UPSC aspirants care beyond rote memorization? Because questions increasingly test your ability to connect policy intent with constitutional mechanisms and recent amendments. This concept is very important for your GS Paper 2 on polity and governance, and it also appears in essay papers and interview discussions about social justice and affirmative action. When answering mains or writing an essay, start with Article 46 as the normative claim. Then, link it to Part 16 actions. Mention commissions and landmark commissions, and conclude with contemporary amendments. A sample short answer structure could be: state the directive principle, list the operative articles, give one or two examples like Mandal or national commissions, and offer a brief evaluative comment. And towards the end, we will understand a key idea that most UPSC aspirants miss: the difference between non-justiciable moral obligation and enforceable legal safeguards, and how both must work together in practice. In practice, policies flow from moral direction to legal action, and the effectiveness depends on political will, administrative capacity, and judicial interpretation. Quick examples to anchor memory: reservation in Lok Sabha and state assemblies, relaxation in promotions for SCs and STs, and the creation of national commissions under Articles 338 and 338A. Also remember the role of the President in specifying lists and the requirement for parliamentary approval for changes to the central list in some cases. To revise efficiently, make a two-column chart mentally: article or institution on the left and its practical function on the right, like Article 330 equals reserved parliamentary seats. That small habit will save your time during last-minute revisions and help you craft crisp answers with constitutional backing. Quick recap. Article 46 directs special attention. Part 16 operationalizes it with Articles 330 to 342A. Commissions monitor and report, and amendments shape how lists and reservations work. Keep in mind the protective versus developmental distinction. Some measures shield groups from exploitation. Others actively promote socio-economic upliftment. For UPSC, connect the constitutional text to real policy debates like Mandal, the 104th Amendment, and the role of national commissions when you write answers or discuss social justice in the interview. You are now ready to convert this conceptual clarity into precise answers and confident interview responses, because you understand both the letter and the spirit of these provisions. If you want ready-made notes, practice questions, and concise summaries tailored for UPSC, continue learning with EduRev, where materials tie articles to exam demand directly. Join EduRev for structured notes, tests, and video lessons that help you convert constitutional knowledge into marks and confident arguments in mains and interview. Keep revising article numbers, landmark commissions, and recent amendments, and practice linking directive principles to operative provisions in every answer you write. Good luck, stay curious, and remember that clear constitutional structure plus smart examples is the fastest route to scoring on social justice questions.